Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at Westminster to Washington. My name's Matt Johnston, and when I'm not doing this, sometimes I host a show called The Interesting Times, which is a British version of the American Phoenix News, which is an American version of The Interesting Times. It's all very confusing, I know, but just trust me on that one. Joining me is the host of the Phoenix News Network. It's Andrea Bridges-Smith. Andrea, what's going on in the land of the free coffee refill?
Yes, that's what we're known for. Now, our president is using an unusual method to try and score a Nobel Peace Prize on Friday. Most idiots are out there trying to wage peace and stuff, but Trump has taken a different tack by using the military to invade his own citizens. And boy, let me tell you, all of the protests and the violence and the ICE accidentally tear gassing city police and the zip tying small children, that has Nobel Peace Prize written all over it, baby.
Yikes. Yes. I mean, it's extraordinary. He's sent the military into what, 3 separate areas now, cities?
Well, four actually.
Goodness. So, what are they exactly supposed to be doing? What is the plan here? Are they securing downtown, as you Americans call it, or something, or have they begin having any clear instruction, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yes, apparently these cities are lawless, crime-ridden hellscapes and need the military to sort that out by no one's really sure. In Washington, D.C., they ended up mulching trees and picking up garbage, which was nice, maybe not the most efficient use of the military. Now, over in Portland, there is an ICE facility where there has been some protests that turned ugly, but most of the protests have been peaceful. So right now, there's about 20 people outside of this ICE facility, and some of them are wearing like animal costumes. At one point, they started grilling some cheeseburgers. So I think you can see why it's very important for the military to get in there and just crack down on all of that.
Now, to be clear, because I don't know what ICE is, it's they're not military, but they're not law enforcement. They somewhere in between, are they?
Yes. So ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And so their job is to deport as many brown people as they can possibly lay eyes on. Doesn't super duper matter if they're actual American citizens or not, or if they've done anything wrong or not, or if they're in the country legally or not. These are all things that slow down the arresting and deportation process. So we just try not to think about any of that.
As I say, frightening, but I'm going to leave it a few years before I come over, Andrew, if that's all right.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave it till next week before I come over there. How's that sound? So Trump is now talking about using the Insurrection Act to deploy more troops to wherever the hell he wants, namely to areas that haven't voted for him. So what is the Insurrection Act? Well, it allows the deployment of troops in the U.S. in certain limited situations. And normally the way this would work would be a state's governor or legislature would request help from the federal government. That's what happened in 1992. Then Governor of California, Pete Wilson, asked President Bush for help with the riots in Los Angeles. And that's the last time that this thing was used. But Trump could use an option that doesn't require consent from a state. Now, this act is meant to be used in emergency situations, not in situations like in Chicago, where crime has been steadily decreasing over the past few years. If there is an emergency situation that we maybe want to take a look at, the whole kids getting shot in schools thing, that might be a good starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, isn't it interesting when MAGA talk about, things like drag story time, they talk about protecting children. When it comes to guns, it's like, yeah, that's, a different matter.
Exactly. Now, Matt, you used to be in the military, is that right?
Yeah, I was, yes.
So, can you imagine a scenario where you would ever invade your own country? Did you ever have to do anything like that?
Not me, not me personally, thankfully, but funny, or rather not funny enough, famously, the British Army obviously did so in Northern Ireland in the 70s. Now,
Yes.
Oh, actually, thinking about it, in Trump's effort, this makes a bit of sense. So in 1998, at the end of the Troubles, John Hume and David Trimble were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for the Good Friday Agreement, which has
Okay.
brought peace to Northern Ireland. So this is what Trump's doing, right? He's invading American cities using the U.S. Army. Then he's going to broker a peace deal with himself. Although I don't fancy his chances. I mean, has he seen who he's got to negotiate with? Donald Trump. I mean, good luck.
Mr. Art of the Deal himself. Yeah, that is actually a pretty good theory. New conspiracy theory just dropped, audience. Just dive on that. Now, the nice thing about all this, hullabaloo over invading ourselves is that Trump has been so distracted that he just hasn't had a moment to spare for the Epstein files nonsense. So the Supreme Court denied Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal, and so naturally, Trump was asked by a reporter if he would pardon her. The correct answer to that question is absolutely not. But again, Trump zigged where others would have zagged. And he did that by pretending that he had never heard of this person in his whole entire life, even though everyone has been asking him about this every day for
Yes.
months. Let's take a quick look at this video.
The Supreme Court is back and they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
So Matt, what do you think about that? You think he just can't remember who Ghislaine Maxwell is?
See, it is one of those rather scarily where you sit there and think, is he genuinely that sort of forgetful? Or is he, is this isn't a vote winner, is it? It's, when you sit there and say things like, oh, child sex trafficking. Yeah, I'm a little on the fence on that one. It
Right.
shouldn't be a vote winner, should it, really?
Exactly. And I have to say, one of the things that annoys me most is when a politician says, "Oh, I haven't heard about that," and it's like, isn't it your job to know what's going on? Isn't it your staff's job to alert you to things that are like, yes, you do know about it. Don't say you don't know about it.
Yes. You went to their parties, like a lot. You lived next door to the guy who was basically her, other half,
Right.
effectively.
Yeah. It's a bit of a flimsy argument. So what about you, Matt? What news from the British shores?
Well, before I dive into the UK fun stuff, I've got a little bit of a bone to pick with your government.
Okay.
So, what did you say? Wait your turn. Oh, is that what the cue that can be seen from space is?
We know you guys love a good cue.
Yes. Well, you may or may not be aware, Andrew. You'll forgive me changing the tone slightly, but we had an attack on a synagogue by a lone Islamic terrorist with a knife. 2 people were killed by a maniac called Jihad. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, your department, less than a week after these killings, started a recruitment drive with the question, want to keep Jihad out of America? Pretty poor taste, really.
Yeah, that sounds like something our government would do.
Yeah. I mean, if we're doing this now, fine. Then I guess the UK Home Office can start their own recruitment with a poster of Charlie Kirk with the heading, and this is why we don't have guns.
Yes, I have to say that fewer guns does seem to be working out well for you guys if we're just judging by sheer number of shootings.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it does mean that you can't take up arms against the government if they decide to start invading your cities, which I can tell you from recent experience, they sometimes actually do. Maybe Keir Starmer, he needs something to distract from his terrible poll numbers. Trump gives him a little advice, and before you know it, you're caught with nothing but a butter knife in front of a tank.
Well, people are being arrested for holding up a placard saying, "I oppose genocide and I support Palestine Action." I think we've already mentioned Palestine Action has been prescribed as a terrorist organization because they threw some red paint at planes. Now, interestingly, there was a situation, somebody actually put it on TikTok or something, were filming themselves at one of these demonstrations. Directly alongside a person with "I oppose genocide," they wrote, "I'm in favor of genocide." And the person with "I oppose genocide" was being arrested, and they're like not being arrested with "I'm in favor of genocide." It's the madness that we're in at the moment, but there we go.
Yeah, that's pretty strange when opposing genocide is an arrestable offense. And it's even stranger that Marjorie Taylor Greene, of all people, is on the right side of that.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping that her and I don't end up in a cell together. I think
yeah.
that would be tough.
That would be tough, very tough. You'd be woken up all night. She'd be doing sit-ups for about sort of 3 hours. Yes.
Right. Well, I don't know. Maybe she could help me get ripped or something like that. That'd be Well, let's move on to some lighter news, which I think we all desperately need. um, Matt, we've talked about the MAGA math, and it has struck again. We talked about how the Trump administration regularly inflates their numbers. They said that 88% of Americans are currently dead of drug overdoses. I don't know if that includes me or not. I feel alive, but could be a M. Night Shyamalan, I don't actually know type of a situation. So let's check out this latest clip.
You saw it again last week when he had one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world coming into the Oval Office and promising to lower drug prices by 200, 300, 100%.
Wow. Okay. 200, 300, one. There's a certain point where numbers don't matter, aren't there, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about an up to a 300% reduction in cost there, which would mean that the drug companies are not only handing you free medicine, they're also giving you a check for twice the amount that it costs. Medicine apparently has never been freer in America, and I really wish someone would tell my pharmacist because they keep asking me to pay for stuff.
Outrageous, outrageous. I was going to say, if finally you guys get some healthcare I can get on board with. Okay, let me ask you a question that you may or may not be aware of, but when they ask these questions, these reporters, they get a sort of bullshit answer like that. Are they then having to sort of go back, or do they, Caroline Leavitt, then move on to the next person, or no more questions from you, that sort of thing? Is there any right of reply?
I think that they get pretty quickly told, like, all right, next question. And then, it's up to the reporter to go back to their network and just sit on the evening news and go, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And then they get to discuss what the hell was that with other pundits. So, yeah, that's kind of how journalism is working.
Well, talking of kind of bullshit numbers being pulled out of your backside, the other news going on over here is that silly season is well underway. We are having our party conferences. We've had Labour, Lib Dems, Green Party Reform, and this week's it's the turn of the Tories. Remember them?
Oh, just barely. They do leave a bit of an impression, don't they?
Yes, yes. Well, Kemi Badenoch, their leader apparently, is still clinging on, but I'm guessing that's only because nobody else wants the job. To give you some idea of how badly it's going, they handed out goodie baggies to attendees, which is something that these sort of things regularly do. Lots of the usual stuff. I don't know, a Boris Johnson wig, a lettuce, but no, not really. But it did have a chocolate bar with a message signed by Kemi Badenoch saying, when Labour negotiates, Britain loses. But they managed to spell Britain wrong. It's spelled Britain. Britain. That's right. They managed to spell the country they were in charge of for the last 14 years wrongly.
That's wonderful. Yes, we should definitely put them back in charge. They can't even spell the country. How would they run it? Probably into the ground like last time.
Yes, absolutely. Crazy.
Now, Matt, you and I talk a lot about our countries, but you might have heard there are actually other countries. I know I'm just as surprised as you are. So let's go over to France, your neighbors, where there and gone Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu saw Liz Truss's 49-day tenure and said, hold my Chardonnay.
Yeah, I saw this. It's crazy times over there, isn't it? They're
Yeah.
talking about, well, the people want another election, but there's a fair chance you end up with exactly the same type of, turmoil as, in the government.
Right.
It's going to have a knock-on effect as well. I hate to sound selfish about this, but it's going to have a knock-on effect for various countries' economies, probably few more than ours.
Yeah.
But sorry, France, if you will lop off the heads of your monarchs, then you will have to go through the rather expensive business of elections, rather than the even more expensive business of coronations.
Yes, at least elections don't require rubies and ermines and stuff like that.
Mm.
I am noticing a bit of a trend here. So, you've got the French government, which apparently nobody really wants to be in charge of. You were talking earlier about Kemi Badenoch, who is still in charge because no one else wants the job. Do you think that being a world leader is perhaps losing some of its luster these days?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Certainly, some of its respect. Everybody just assumes you're lying all the time.
Right, exactly,
I don't know
exactly.
where that
And
came from, but
could it have been from the lying? Is that maybe a patient zero on this? We'll never know, I guess. But yeah, if you do want to run for office, now is a wonderful time to step up. If you are someone who enjoys cleaning up terrible messes and intractable conflicts, this is the job for you. So get out there and serve your country for, at least a couple weeks. And then if it gets too tough, you can just bounce. So, yeah.
yeah, I've done my bit. Somebody else have a go.
Exactly. Maybe that should be the new system. Maybe everybody just takes a turn, It's like, oh, it's your week to do it.
Yes. By the way, do you know that Liz Truss still gets, I think it's something like 140 grand a year, for life
For
now,
what?
because she was prime minister. All ex-prime ministers get that as a sort of like, thanks. You're like, come on, man. That is,
Okay.
to be fair, I'm not even mad at her. It's just that, yeah, when I looked at it, if I'd known that we could have clubbed together and just paid 140 grand a year for the rest of her life, I would have done it.
Now, do you know if they offer that in France? Because I do speak French and, I love talking about intractable conflicts. It's all I do every day. So maybe I should pop over there and see if they want to let me have a go at it. In other countries' news, we're getting very international today. Over in India, there is a festival where a Hindu goddess sculpture slays a demon sculpture, and this year they have designed the demon sculpture to look like Trump. So a few things about this sculpture. Number one, hilarious. Number two, he's riding a lion, and they're going to want to replace that with a golf cart. And three, the abs here are inexplicably ripped. Matt, as our resident art critic, what are your thoughts on this piece of art?
Realistic, I think, is doing it a favor. For a start, oh God, yes, for a start, that lion should be in a lot of pain. Let's not kid ourselves. Well, it should be, except as you say, the guy looks amazing. So it's the only connection it has with Trump is the hair, which is
Yes.
clearly, ridiculous. Oh, and the orange skin, which is like Trump, completely fake.
Exactly. And he's wearing a gold bracelet for some reason. Not sure what that's about, but the man does like gold, so that part's pretty accurate. India, you're having fun over there with the times that we're living in, and we love that for you.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. The other thing to mention about India, Starmer's just about landed in India at the moment in order to
Oh,
negotiate a trade deal.
okay.
And they're poised to be about the third largest economy on the planet, India. I must admit, I kind of thought they were there already, but I'm guessing
Yeah.
behind you guys and China, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Fingers crossed for that. We need the
Well,
money.
I hope you guys have better luck than we've had because apparently the whole reason that this demon statue popped up in the first place was because they're not happy about tariffs. So you tell Keir Starmer he better be careful, otherwise next year he's going to be the demon, and you
Yeah.
know
Yes.
he'd get ripped abs, so that could be nice for him.
Did you see the president? No doubt they're going to get together and have a bit of a mocking of Trump because that's a go-to stance for just about everybody now, besides
Right.
Trump and Putin, isn't it? Really. Um,
Yes.
did you see, was it the president of Albania? You know, because Trump's saying that he negotiated peace between, is it Azerbaijan and Armenia?
Yes, but he
he's
said
in
Albania.
He's getting the two mixed up. And apparently the president of Albania has been caught on a hot mic just taking the piss out of him.
You should make an apology to us. Because you didn't congratulate us for the peace deal that President Trump made between Albania and Azerbaijan.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. So, and you worked very hard. You worked very hard.
That was a terrific video, and I like that everybody's having fun. You know, they're doing what we're trying to do. The times are interesting that we are living through, and you gotta laugh or you're gonna cry. And so,
Absolutely.
you know, good on them for enjoying themselves. All right, well, that's all that we have time for today, but please tune in next week to find out which stage of insanity has been reached on both sides of the Atlantic. Place your bets now. Might be martial law by then. We don't know. But till then, I know that you need more of Matt in your life. We all do. So head on over to his channel, The Interesting Times, handles down below and in the comments. And for more from the U.S. side, subscribe here and check us out all throughout the week. We've got plenty for you to watch while the world burns. See you next time.
Bye.